Okay, let's do this. I haven't made videos like this in a while, so I wanted to share a little bit about this book, The Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Interestingly enough, Patanjali may or may not have even been a real person. There are countless historical figures who they debate whether or not they existed, like Lao Tzu, another example. And the cool thing is, it doesn't really matter if they existed or not, because these truths are still true and they're still deep philosophies that you can use to guide your life. The thing that I really like about Patanjali is the perspective on yoga itself, which we tend to think of yoga as these movements that we do: downward dog, sun salutations, warrior pose. And those are actually the things that are leading you to the yoga. The real yoga is not the movements themselves. And I think that perspective alone is interesting, because how many times do we think the things we're doing in life are the things that are important when they're actually secondary to the main purpose? And I have thoughts on what that main purpose is, which I'll explore later. But this book, there was one part that really spoke to me, and we think about reality in almost a backwards way. If you were to go to a Funhouse, or a fair where they have the Funhouse mirrors, the distorted, weird-looking, wavy mirrors, and we look in those mirrors and they make us look fat, tall, short, squat, odd, because there's waves in the mirror. We don't look at that and say, "Oh shit, look how terrible I look." We look at that and we say, "Ha, that look weird." And we understand that it's not an accurate reflection of who we are, so we laugh at it and we play and we joke, and we don't carry an attachment to that reflection. And our mind is very much similar to that, except we do carry an attachment to these distortions in our mind. These anxieties, these depressions, these misjudging our thoughts and taking them for what they are. So think of your mind as a mirror, and think about when it is clean, smooth, and you can see an accurate reflection of who you are. You're happy with that. Because if you see a true reflection of who you are, you cannot be unhappy with that, because who you are is pure consciousness. There are no concepts attached to consciousness. We develop these concepts. We develop judgments about things: good, bad, negative, positive. But consciousness itself is neither good, bad, negative, or positive. It's just a space. It's just awareness, a field for us to judge is what we end up doing, because we are judgment machines, essentially. Our humans, we are constantly judging any given situation. And so when we look at this mirror, oftentimes it is distorted, because we have not done the inner work. We've not done the cultivating of the smoothness of the mind, the clearness of the mind, to be able to accurately see ourselves. And we often look at these distorted mirrors, distorted versions of our minds, and a lot of it comes in the form of self-judgment, self-criticism, which I'm not opposed to totally, because I think that's how you become a better person if done correctly. But we look at these distortions and we think that's who we are, and we get upset about it. We develop attachments to them, instead of understanding, I'm just in this state of mind right now. I'm feeling sad, and it's okay. It's just my mind's just distorted. Let me go back to that thing that clears the mind, whatever it is for you. And everybody has something different. Whatever your meditation, your yoga is, which can be a variety of things: hunting, fishing, actual meditation. For me, it's jujitsu, yoga, meditation, spending time with the family, spending time with my kids, getting around friends, and just laughing until you get to the point of tears. These are all purifications. These are all things that purify the mind, so that when you do look at yourself in the reflection of the mind, you see the truth of who you are, which is pure consciousness. And once you realize you're pure consciousness, you get to decide a little bit more of what judgments you place on that, what attachments you make, because you're going to attach yourself to something. You're going to judge yourself. But, be careful of mistaking these distortions of the mind for who you are. You're looking in the funhouse mirror of the mind. Just because you look weird and unhappy and you don't like what you see, that doesn't mean that's the truth of who you are. So, yeah, I guess that's one of the big things I'm taking away from this book. And I'll share more later if you feel like that helped you. I hope it did. It's definitely helping me. The more I keep that in mind, the more at peace I am. And I think that pure consciousness is peace. If you were to judge pure consciousness or attach something to what pure consciousness is, it is peace. It is just open space to be. So, thank you for watching.